how do you describe your style of leadership? What do you think
Well,
that you specifically bring to the team?
well, not very aggressive. I don't show to my team members that I'm very aggressive. I think it's more about would take my time, think, discuss with not everyone, but the senior players, the strategy. So I take, bring everyone together. As I said, not all of them, but at least the senior players, the experienced players. Not like just so I always discuss with my players, what should be the game plan.
How much input from the players do you take? Do you take a lot of advice from the team, from the senior players?
Yes, definitely from the senior players, but not all the players. Definitely from the senior players. Yes, I do.
What do they come to you with? What do they talk about?
Well, they usually talk about after, like, not at the beginning, but when we go for the international tours, especially, uh, we see the first match, how did we perform, and then those players, they come the same day in the night when we have those socializing event, where we have some drinks or we eat together. Their players give their feedback, about how the pitch is behaving, how the team performed, what should be our strategy for the next day. So they do comment about those things, but I hear those guys. I don't outrightly say, but I hear, and then but I discuss the strategy with the senior players and the vice captain only.
Can you give me an example of when this has worked well in a tournament or a competition?
Yeah, I mean, example like 2018, which the one we won, the championship, South American championship. There I found out one of the player. Yeah, the first after the first match we won against Peru, and if I remember correctly, we bowled them out in 25 runs, and we batted first. We were at, I think, 98 all out, but we bowled them in 25, and the pitch was turning very good. And then one of the player came and said, "Look, I think we can try the spin, more the spin on these pitches." And I think this was a very good idea. And the next match we tried with more spin bowling also, and it worked really well because the pitch was turning a lot. So yeah, those kind of, just an example, And I think that tournament we won. It was total spin bowling performance, and we finished all our matches within the time, and even the umpires were very very happy because when you have spin bowlers, they quickly finish their overs than the fast bowlers.
So I suppose that one of the topics that has come up a bit in some of the other interviews for this series has been the pros and cons, the positives and negatives to a leadership group, a captaincy group.
Hmm.
How useful do you think a captaincy group is or can be?
I think it creates confusion. Captain should be just one as like leader. You can always listen to other players' comments, or their advice. They can advise, but the decision has to be taken by just one person. Otherwise, it creates confusion. And as I told you, we just play 20 over format. We don't really have time to discuss many things. It's just you're there and you take decisions there at, maybe after every over. So it's a different ball game, and I think I personally believe that the group captains, that kind of thing won't work.
So I think there are many different ways of running a leadership group. How a lot of people do it, I think, is you have a captain, vice captain, and then a bunch of senior players alongside that, um, or maybe slightly underneath, who then work alongside the coach. In terms of what you're saying, if there's no coach do you take on a lot of the management responsibilities as captain?
I do. Yes, I do. What I do, we don't have a coach. Whenever we do these international trips, so we decide a manager of the team, and most of the time, this manager is also player of the team. Is a player also. Um, so captain is basically on and off the field as well. So yes, so there are a lot of management responsibilities as well on the captain, because we are not really a professional team, like the other countries. You see the full members, or the player at a good level. We basically play for our own fun, and also we don't make money out of playing for Mexico national team. So it's more like we travel to represent country, is for our own fun also, and also to win for the country. We feel proud to represent Mexican team.
So how do you work alongside the team manager? How do you work alongside the vice captain? How do you work alongside the other senior players?
What do you mean exactly? I mean,
So if you're on tour and there's a team manager, who does what? Who takes responsibility of certain things?
logistics, and yeah, I mean, a lot of other stuff like booking the hotels and those kind of things.
Okay. So in terms of creating strategy, who and tactics, who does that?
Well, the captain, along with the vice captain, and also the senior players. So as I said, it's not like whenever we travel, whenever we have tournaments, it's not just we don't have a formal way of discussing all these strategies. It's mainly the captain. So I decide. I don't take many people for discussion. We probably discuss those strategies while we are having our breakfast, or last night dinner, about today's game. And most of the time it's with the vice captain. And of course, whenever it's required, we ask senior team members to join also the discussion, but not too many people also be involved, so that, because it creates confusion.
How many? How many senior players
I
would
would say I would say probably two or three, not more than that.
you? Some might say that in itself is a leadership group.
Yes, it's kind of, yeah. But as I said, the final decision is on captain, not just a bunch of players. So